Welcome to the Transum podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transum.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
Hello, this is podcast number 68. A number very familiar to me as being the number of the bus I used to take every morning to my secondary school. And also, it's the probability of being within one standard deviation of the mean in a normal distribution. Yes, I'm really fun at parties. Anyway, June has turned into July and the summer holidays, for some, are upon us. And you can find links to end-of-term activities and holiday activities in the transcript of this podcast, otherwise known as this month's newsletter. It's at transum.org/newsletter. So let's begin with a riddle, and I heard this on the radio the other day. What is my name? 500 is at my end and at my start. The number 5 is at my heart. The first letter is second to appear, but the first number completes me clear. So what is my name? Okay, the answer will be at the end of this podcast. But while you think about it, here's a heads up on the new items added to your Transum online resource collection this month. Pythagoras coordinates is an additional online exercises suggested by actually one of you hardworking teachers. I have included it as level 4 in the set of Pythagoras exercises, and I hope you find it useful. 2 new videos have been created on multiplication and division, and they introduce a cartoon character who does the narration as a change from me, and pupils are encouraged to be creative in the way they watch these videos so that they meet their learning needs exactly. So they should be encouraged to play them at double speed or half speed as necessary, and only view the level required by first going to that online exercise, going to the level that you need to do, and then clicking the Help tab, and then you will get the video appear queued up at the right place to help you answer the questions at that particular level. In addition, help videos have been made on percentage change, substitution, and arithmetic sequences. And that confirms that I've managed to keep to my weekly schedule of producing videos during this last month. Hope you're proud of me. Anyway, I hope they'll be of use to pupils doing the Transum exercises in isolation with little or no immediate support. Now, as a byproduct of the video creation process, an animated calculator and a substitution animated examples visual aid are both now available for you to use in your classroom teaching or during your online lessons. Hopefully you'll agree they allow for a really clear illustration of certain basic concepts. And the links, don't forget, are at transum.org/newsletter. I am honoured to report that Transum Mathematics won Corporate Vision magazine's Education and Training Award for the most engaging mathematics teaching resource 2020. At the time of writing this newsletter, the UK government were relaxing the 2-metre rule. This is the distance that people should stay apart to remain safe from transmission of the coronavirus while allowing more normal activities to take place. Now, as a maths teacher, my ears pricked up every time I heard this being discussed on the radio or TV. 2 metres is, of course, twice as much as 1 metre. But we know that, for many situations, it's actually the area around a person that's the important measurement. You're probably one step ahead of me now and are thinking of the learning objective. Pupils should be taught to compare lengths, areas and volumes using scale factors. So as every Year 11 pupil will know, if the scale factor is 2, the area factor is 2 squared. So the 2 metre rule requires 4 times as much area as the 1 metre rule. And that's why this change is going to make so much difference to the way restaurants and cinemas and sports venues can operate. Now, I heard this topic being discussed on the BBC's More or Less Behind the Stats podcast. Tim Harford explored how we can avoid the coronavirus spreading while getting on with life. During the podcast, he interviewed David Payton, who's Professor of Industrial Economics at the University of Nottingham, and asked him for a practical example.
If you think of a typical theatre or cinema, perhaps the seat itself might take up 1 metre, maybe a little bit less. The difference might be if you have 2 metres, you're probably going to need at least 2 seats empty to the side of you before the next person fills it, whereas with 1 metre it might just be 1 seat blank. But also you've got in front of you and behind, so with the 2 metre distance you might need 2 empty rows in between you, whereas with 1 metre it might just be 1 empty row. So actually the difference to capacity could be very significant for those sorts of venues.
Tim then went on to describe what this would look like in a theatre.
If we have to be kept 2 metres apart, that might mean only every third row in a theatre could be occupied, and even on that row, only every third seat could be occupied, which would take you down to a capacity of about 1/9. Whereas if we only have to keep 1 metre apart, Professor Payton estimates that you could have almost 1/3 of seats filled.
So is this change from a 2 metre rule to a 1 metre rule going to be significant in supporting the economy?
I think given the huge scope of activity that the 2 metre rule affects and the relative impact of maintaining 2 metres, from an economic point of view, moving from 2 metres to 1 metre is probably the most important and significant measure in terms of getting the economy back on its feet again.
A final observation regarding this pandemic situation is that I heard yesterday that many Year 12 International Baccalaureate students are collecting the easily available statistics for use in their internal assessment explorations. So I wonder what conclusions they will reach. Very interesting, we have that to come.
You can find Transom Mathematics at www.transom.org.
Now, if a different type of virus or bug knocks transom.org offline, don't let your lessons suffer. There are 2 mirror sites that contain 95% of the resources. They are transom.com and transom.info. So keep them up your sleeve for a rainy day, which is a bit of a mixture of 2 unrelated, well-worn and time-honoured sayings. But anyway, just remember they're there in case there's ever a problem. Finally, the answer to this month's puzzle, or this riddle I guess it is David. My name is David. Well, according to the riddle. Because D is the Roman numeral for 500. A is the first letter of the alphabet. V is the Roman numeral for 5. I is the Roman numeral for 1, the first number. And the final D, of course, is the Roman numeral for 500 again. That's all for now. Keep in touch and stay happy and safe. Bye.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transom podcast. You can find the website at www.transom.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transom subscriber.